Okay, so before we start coding the handler, the pipeline handler, we should start. We should finish the Netty client and the message payload first. Okay, so we jump to the client. We say this is called RPC client. We create a new class, and it's similar. Okay, it's very similar to the Netty server. So that's why I would like to finish it first before we start. We dive into the handler. Okay, so connect method the same, right? But in here in the RPC client, because there's a Netty client, this a bit different from the Netty server. In the Netty server, we create an instance of server bootstrap, and in the client, it's called bootstrap. Okay, no server. It's just simply called bootstrap, and the next step, the API we call, it's very similar to the server. So group, we define a group, which is we need to give them one new socket. One new group loop event. So we can new one. Oh wait, but we should define the new event loop groups as a private field here. The reason why I do this, I'll explain later. So we put it as a private field because I'll use it. The only simple reason is it because I'll use it elsewhere in this class. So that's why I defined as a private field. So new an instance of his new event loop group, and then we give this worker group to the bootstrap. And in the bootstrap, we need to identify, we need to configure the channel as well. So channel here, now it's called NeoSocket channel. NeoSocket channel. And in the server side, it's called NeoServer socket channel. All right, so then we define the handler. And this handler is simply the same. We can new channel initializer. And the generic type is socket channel as well. I'll make sure there's a Netty socket channel, right? Okay, so we need to have the same method here as well. We need to configure the pipeline. We need to add the customized handler into the pipeline, but since we don't have the handler at the moment, so we can just leave it and we put assign to do. We'll come back here. All right, so when we finish this configuration, what's the next step? It's we connect, right? Bootstrap connect to, all right, so we need to define a host. Let's say the string host. All right, string host. And then we have a host, but what I mean is the best thing we need to do is we need to put this information in the configuration file in the resource folder, so we can say application.yml, and then we put we give it a name. We call it Justin RPC, and then we can have a name Justin RPC server. So we can have a port for, like, say 11111, right? So that's what we did, right? And then we can have a boss group, number of the boss thread, number of the worker thread. We will use it later, okay? Backlog size 128. Okay, then we RPC, we define the client, and then we worker, we define free host. Okay, so this local host. Okay, then we have this config. We have this file config, and the next step is we can use the Spring Boot property. We can read the value from the property file. So we can say string port and also host. So we can use value, dollar value, add value, and then dollar bracket, Justin. So is it, what is this port? Okay, this port is the port of the server, right? So the port of the server, okay, and this one is the host, the server host. So this server, this client host. All right, cool. Okay, and now we can connect to the server, to the host by passing the host into the connect, and the port. Oh, remember that's the port we need to convert it to integer. Passing, which is the port. Okay, so when we complete this line of code, usually we can it returns you the channel filter. But here, what we want to do is we need to do one more thing. We need to add a listener, because we need to make sure the connection is successful. We need to know if it's successful, right? If the connection is successful, we need to do something. We need to send a registration request to the server. Alright? If it's unsuccessful, we're going to do what we're trying to do is reconnect. So how do we know if the connection is successful? We can add a listener, and we can use a lambda. But anyway, that's this param is future. The type of this param is future. So if this future, it's an interface, and there's a method called isSuccess. So if it's success or else, then it's fail. Okay. So if that's fail, and then what happened? We need to create the log. Okay, we create a log, and then we print a log. We print it out error, and then we can say fail to connect to server. Trying to reconnect again. Okay, so which means it's gonna reconnect here, right? It reconnect. Okay, so I need to give it a reconnect method. I need to define this method first. Reconnect. Okay, I'm not going to complete this method. I just write it down, and then I'll just call the reconnect, and later we can come back here. That's to do. Okay, to do. Okay, so if that's successful, we can what we can do is that inside this RPC client, we need to maintain the channel, which is the channel, the connection channel, or we say the Netty channel between the client and the server. And later on, we use this channel to communicate, or we can send out the RPC request to the server. Okay, so we need to maintain a channel. This is a Netty channel. But how do we get this channel? All right, once this, the connection is successful, we can cast this future, this F, to channel future. We can cast, okay? We can downcast. Now we can have now we have a channel future. So since we have a channel future, and then we can get the channel future. We can get the channel from this channel future, and we have this channel, so we can give it a value. This stock channel. Okay, so we can give the value of the channel future, the channel in the channel future, to the channel here, and then we have value. Okay, we have the so we can later on use this channel to send whatever we want to the server. Okay, and right now it seems so far so good, right? And there's one more thing is here. We need to CF. We give it another name, CF. Okay, CF and then channel, close future, and sync. And then try catch. So, oh, I don't want to throw, I want to try catch. So what I can do is I can move this part into the try blocked. Okay, that's it's almost down. All right, I think it's down. Right, yeah, I think it's down. So I move this part here. Okay, cool. Then now the next step is we need to do something. We need to start this the same as the server, because when we start disconnect, when it's connected and then it's blocking. So what that means, we need to start this. We need to say, we need to initialize this this Netty server, this Netty client, using another thread. We need to create, or we need to new a new thread, and then we have a new thread, and then we runnable. Then inside the runnable, the run method, we can call connect. That's it. Oh, don't forget, we need to call the start. Otherwise, this thread is not going to start. All right, and then logger info. We need to say client finished initialization process. So when is this finished? Okay, so here, when it's when this client, this is a key, this is a core component. So we put most of the methods into this RPC client, because later on, when we start the server, we need to scan what method we are allowed to support the RPC. So we need to do a log inside this class. So please keep in mind that this class is the main, is the core component that in our RPC framework. Okay, so it seems like that's okay right now. And of course we're not finished yet, so we just finish this connection, this Netty client connection. Right, so the next step, we need to move to the message. So we need to send the message. We communicate by the message, right? So we have an RPC message being sent out and received. Okay, so we're going to define it.